On Friday, the 20th of April 2018, the premier social and recreation club in Nigeria, the Island Club, Onikon Lagos, witnessed its yearly election, a necessary prerequisite for selecting new leaders who will be charged with the responsibility of leading and controlling the affairs of the club for the next 1 year. This was after the contestants for the different positions had squared up in debates where they advanced reasons for vying for the different positions. As expected, the BOS crew were on ground to capture the election proceedings, which were conducted in a free, fair, orderly and transparent manner. The very peaceful election witnessed a large turnout of club members who were present to cast their votes for their preferred candidates, who they believe have all it takes to move the club forward. The election, which began at 12 p.m., lasted for 7 hours. It gave members enough time to cast their votes. The positions being contested for were that of the social secretary, the vice chairman, and the chairman. Present at the election were past chairman of Island Club, former Minister of State for Defense, Senator Musli Obanikoro, Deputy Governor of Edo State, Right Honorable Philip Shaibu, Chairman of Premier Lotto Limited and billionaire philanthropist Sir Kensington Adebutu, Chairman and CEO Biscon Communications Prince Bisi Olatilo, trustees and members of the Island Club, among many others. BOS correspondent conducted interviews with some members of the club before the election.
Today I want Mr. Banji Oladapo, the Olympian, to be elected today because he's taking the club to Olympian heights and he has stabilized the country. I mean the Island Club. There were factions before, but it made it possible for all of us to get together. People that are not very pleased in the past, he reconciled everybody in the club. I must confess to you that he's a man of honor and dignity, and I want him to be re-elected again for the next 1 year.
Well, I'm looking forward to a very supportive management team because we have the Kappa project at the back. We spent over 100 billion on piling. It's a multi-story car park. So I'm looking forward to a theme that will be elected today that we all can work together to achieve, the dreams of the members of Island Club. Because within a short time, parking is increasingly becoming difficult here. So we need to build a multi-story car park. We have started it under the leadership of Prince Demola Dada. So we intend to continue from where we are now. And hopefully by the end of this year, we would have built 1 or 2 floors, from the multi-story car park. And I am the secretary of the fundraising committee also. So hopefully we will get there.
We are facing a good election today. Everybody come on his own. It's only 1 vote. But by grace of God, inshallah, everybody will be victory. You understand? So because you are putting me on screen now, I will not say I'm supporting anybody, but surely somebody must win. And also BOC is our member. In fact, for this coverage, I pray for him for long health. Everything he lay hand on shall be successful.
Done so much for 2 years. For 2 years, I couldn't travel out to see my family. I was here. I've been here every day for 2 years. And I think I need to take a rest. And I have to travel out to see my family, spend time with them. And maybe in the future, think of doing something for the club again. The significance of this election is that for the next 1 year, you are choosing those who will run the affairs of the #1 club in Nigeria, which means we are interested in who will run the affairs of this club, because we can't afford to fail. We can't afford to put people there that cannot perform. We cannot afford, because we have such a big name. So, and the whole world is looking at us. So whoever is leading the club has to be the best we can find in the club amongst us.
Collation of votes was next, after which the chairman of the Electoral Committee, Mr. Dayo Shobowale, announced the winners of the election based on the total votes acquired by each of the contestants. For the position of the Social Secretary of the club, Honorable Stephen Ogundipe, the incumbent Social Secretary, emerged the winner with 320 votes, defeating Mr. Jidewin Salah, who had 116 votes. For the position of the Vice Chairman of the club, Mr. Oladeji Veracruz, a one-time General Secretary of the club, won the seat with 198 votes. Other contestants for the position of Vice Chairman, Mr. Ademola Amure, had 104 votes. Dr. Gani Ademola Lawal had 48 votes. Are Kamarudin Ajao Danjuma had 31 votes, while Mr. Demola Doherty had 26 votes. For the chairmanship position, Mr. Banji Oladapo, the incumbent chairman, retained his position as the chairman of the Island Club after he emerged winner with 342 votes, defeating his only opponent, Mr. Rotimi George Taylor, who had 105 votes. In the remark of the electoral chairman, Mr. Dayo Shobowale, he said the election was a joyful and peaceful one. He wished the newly elected officials the very best. He afterwards presented them officially to the members of the Island Club, amidst loud cheers by the supporters of the winners.
I stand to fulfill its statutory duty according to the rules of elections of the Island Club. Anything whatsoever, and I stand on that. My first duty here is to announce the election results. Re-elected for chairman of the Island Club is Mr. Olabanji Oladapo. New vice chairman of the Island Club is Mr. Diji Veracruz. the re-elected Honorable General Secretary, the re-elected Honorable Treasurer is my Arsenal friend, Shegun Oyebola. The re-elected Social Secretary of the Island Club is Stephen Gudibe. Members of the Island Club, it is my duty to call on the new chairman of the Island Club, Mr. Olabanji Oladapo, to address this audience. Thank you very much.
The incumbent chairman, Mr. Olabanji Oladapo, who just won a second term in office, in his remark, thanked all the members of the Island Club for the confidence they reposed in him for re-electing him as the chairman of the club. He commended the other contestants and members of the Electoral Commission for a peaceful process. Mr. Olabanji Oladapo, who said the challenges ahead are enormous, pledged to do everything possible to manage the situation while providing solutions. He further appealed to all to join hands with them, himself, and the other newly elected officials so as to move the prestigious club forward.
First and foremost, I want to thank God for the opportunity that I have to live up to this day. And I thank my parents that gave me the opportunity to come to this world. I want to congratulate the entire members of the Electoral Committee, led by Mr. David Shewale. The club will continue to remember you and all of you for your job well done. The spirit, the sincerity of purpose, the way you handle the election is pre non securis. That is first without second. The challenge before us is enormous. And we will do everything to manage it.
The 2018 general election of the Island Club Onikon ended on a note of merriment as the Music Elite Band and Shegun Olowokere Dairo Junior Band took total control of the night. In an interview conducted by the BOS crew, the chairman of the Island Club, Mr. Olabanji Oladapo, promised to get everyone involved in his administration and continue the various projects he had embarked on.
Well, I'm okay. I've always believed that it's a very unusual situation in the club. This is the first experience, but I'm okay. It's the club. Better things to come, more involving and absolute reconciliation. I will try it.
The newly elected vice chairman, Mr. Oladeji Vera Cruz, pledged to work with the chairman for the betterment of the club.
Well, in my campaign, I said that I'm going to keep it simple. Like you know, what the vice chairman does in Island Club is ask for the chairman when he's absent, and then he's also in charge of bar and catering. I'm going to try and uplift, the standard of the bar and catering. My predecessors have done very well in office. I will try and improve on what they have done. And of course, when the need arises for me to step into the shoes of the chairman, I will pass general secretary and understand the management of the affairs of the Island Club, and I'm sure that I will do very well at that.
Honorable Stephen Oluwakayode, the social secretary, who was also re-elected, also pledged not to relent in his efforts.
I've told them severally that we need to change a lot of things in the club. Unfortunately, I'm happy the chairman is in here because he's my chairman. As a matter of fact, he insisted I should come and do another year with him, which is also a surplus because naturally the plan was for me to do 2 years in this club. But when the chairman of Island Club says he has seen the way I've served him, he doesn't want to play around with anybody, that he still needs my service for 1 more year, that's the reason why I have to give him that honor. And I can be rest assured we've seen a lot of things that needs to be structured in the club, most especially on the issue of our catering services. We've told members that this time around we're going to put in so much effort for them to see a lot of improvement in the club. Secondly, the elders too have also informed me that they need some places they can relax and do their own game, probably playing cards, playing IU and whatever. So we'll have to create the ambience, and this club is interracial, is for them to come and enjoy themselves. It's the premier social club in Nigeria, and we must live up to expectations.
From the chairman and CEO Biscon Communications, Prince Bisial Attilo, we wish the newly elected officials of the Island Club a successful, peaceful, and progressive tenure. Long live the Island Club.